Hey guys, good morning. Happy Friday. It's Daryl here. It's 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. All right, the debate. Who do you guys think won? I'm biased, of course. I think Joe Biden won. In general, I'll say this. There's a couple things I noticed. I noticed that Donald Trump says, I hear, like he hears people saying this. It's like he's saying he hears rumors and innuendo, and that's what he's basing his judgments on. He says that a lot. I hear this, or he says people are saying this. And he says that very often, every day he says this. And I thought I'd give that some thought. And what he's really saying here is he's saying Fox News. He's repeating what he's seeing on Fox News. Like he said last night in the debate, he said, I hear your son Hunter got $3 million from Burisma. And he uses those two phrases, and this is all stuff he's picking up off Fox News. And then I thought about how I talk about my relatives and my neighbors, and how I hear the same exact talking points exactly when I talk to them, and it's scary. It looks like they're brainwashed. And and this is unverified stuff. The stuff about Hunter, the stuff how Trump claims that his campaign was spied on in 2016, like how Leslie Stahl called him out on that. There's no evidence for this stuff. But Trump keeps bringing it up by saying, I hear this, or people are saying this. And he's referring to Fox News. And I got this scary thought last night where I was sitting there, and I saw Trump actually as one of the people that's actually being brainwashed, along with the rest of his followers. It appeared to me last night. I started thinking about it, and a lot of what he says and does, and his actions are based on what he's seeing and hearing, the feedback he's getting from Fox News. It almost seems like Fox News is in more control of the country than he is. I think that if Fox News could easily come out and say tomorrow they could say China should be attacked. We should have missile strikes on China, and I seriously wouldn't be surprised one bit if that's what happened. Okay, another thing I want to talk about too. I'm going to talk more about the debate later. Just some general impressions. I like how Biden talked about uniting the country. He had some Biden had it seemed like specific plans. Bam, bam, bam. How, about the Supreme Court, about how he wants to reunite the country, about coronavirus, specific plans. Where Trump was just constantly saying, the country's great and it's going to get greater and people are going to be happy. No plans at all. And after 4 years, you really get a feel that he's just flying by the seat of his pants. What he sees and hears on Fox News influences what he does every day. He doesn't listen to the security advisors. He doesn't listen to the security reports he gets each day. He watches Fox News, and that's how he bases his day and his actions and everything he does. It's really scary when you think about it, how much control Fox News has over this country right now. All right, I want to talk a little bit. I'm going to talk more about that later. I'm going to do another video this morning. I want to talk a little bit about this 60-minute interview. Trump really comes off as a whining. All right, he's constantly complaining about the tough questions. He doesn't want the tough questions. They treat Biden so much easier. He said Biden comes out of an ice cream store and they just ask him what flavor ice cream he's got. They're so easy on him. Will you give me the tough questions? Well, there's a reason for that, Don. It's because you're the president of the United States. You have been in control for the last 4 years. You wanted this office. You got it. Now you have to answer for it. It's called responsibility. That's why you're being asked the tough questions. Joe Biden's running for the job, but he hasn't been in control for the last 4 years. So therefore, there's not any basis to ask him the same questions as we ask you, Donald Trump. So anyway, he walks out of this. I'm starting to get the gist of what happened here. He walks out of the interview early because he's taking his ball and he's going home. He doesn't like it. They're being mean to him. And then he airs he airs the footage before 60 Minutes. Now, I thought about this. If anybody else did this, this would be a violation of copyrights and agreements and all. If Tom Hanks did this, if Tom Hanks was interviewed by 60 News, then turned around and aired it, taped the interview and aired it before 60 Minutes did, there'd be hell to pay, man. There'd be lawsuits and copyright infringements and all sorts of stuff. The president does this, and it's oh well, bad boy, And the good thing is, I think it just makes him look. It just brings home the point even more. This whole 60-minute shenanigan thing with him walking out, constantly crying about how he's mistreated and how he gets these tough questions. We have a president in the middle of a pandemic, and he's complaining because he gets hard questions. We have all this. We have these police shootings where black men are 4 times more likely. Unarmed black men are 4 times more likely to get shot by police. All this stuff going on, and Donald Trump is complaining because he gets the hard questions. There's a reason why. Like I said, he wanted this job. He's got it. Part of that is tough questions. You telling me Obama didn't have tough questions? I think every day he was buried in these tough questions. One more thing I want to talk about. Like I said, I'm going to do more in-depth when I get my feedback from you guys this morning on this video. What you guys want to talk about later, I'll do another video and we'll get more in depth. One more thing I want to talk about. Oh, I forgot what it was now. Oh yeah, Trump said last night in the debate. Again, he repeated this. He said that it's Nancy Pelosi that's blocking this stimulus. He repeated this lie. Now, I've heard the tapes. I've seen the video. I've seen the quoted transcripts and everything of McConnell coming right out and saying that he is against it, that he is trying to block it, that he's trying to hold it up in favor of getting the Amy Coney Barrett, get her seated in the Supreme Court. McConnell has said this a couple times now, right out to the press, that he is not for the stimulus, that he is trying to get away from the stimulus to center on seating Amy Coney Barrett. And then last night, Trump repeats this again, that it's Nancy Pelosi. Now, the way I understand it, Pelosi and Mnuchin are apparently trying to pass this. It looks like they're going to fail to get it out by Election Day. This is something I think the country needs. 3 in 4 Americans think it's a. If you asked me back when the country was getting better back in August, before we hit the second spike, or was that back in June? I don't remember. We're on the 3rd spike now. If you had asked me like 4 months ago, I would have said no, that we didn't need another stimulus. Now I think we do. Now, especially with winter coming and the flu and all this, I think it's imperative that we get another stimulus. But again, he repeated this lie last night, just a flat out lie again. And I don't know how many others he repeated last night. But he blamed it on Nancy, and this is the thing I hear over and over. This is a surefire thing. Like I said, when I made that for fun video yesterday about Nancy beating up Trump, it was just to irk any Trump supporters that watch my channel. Because they have such a problem with Nancy Pelosi, because she's a strong woman, and she gives Trump a hard time. They are infuriated by her. And again, last night, he repeats this stuff. And from what I see, Nancy Pelosi has been working nonstop, trying to bang out something with Mnuchin to get a stimulus passed. And Trump just said it's all her fault last night. It's not the way I see it, and it's not with the way the facts look. All right, I'll be back later with another video. Tell me what you guys want to talk about. The debate. Last time I talked about the debate, the first debate. It didn't get as much views as I thought. So I don't know if you guys are interested in the debate, the 60 Minutes interview. Also, there was another shooting in Chicago yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. Or a black teen was shot. Supposedly the car rolled back towards a police officer. I want to talk a little bit more about that too. It's questionable, the shooting. All right, I'll be back later with another video. You guys have a good Friday.